Welcome back, my spooky potatoes. I'm Mercy Hyde, and today we are going to be talking about Evil Dead Burn, the latest entry in the Evil Dead franchise that just hit theaters in July 2026. This is the sixth installment of the modern series and a follow up to Evil Dead Rise. It's brutal, extremely gory, and leans hard into pure nasty horror. And honestly, I did enjoy this installment. Definitely because not only did it tie the modern films together, but it paid amazing homage to the original 81 flick, which you can feel those connections in the way the Deadites operate and in some of the classic chaotic energy, even though overall the vibe is a little bit different. The story follows Alice, who goes to stay with her late husband's family after a tragic accident. What starts as an already tense family gathering in a secluded house quickly turns into pure hell as one by one they get possessed. You know, who would have thought in an Evil Dead movie they would take turns getting possessed? Gives the kills a distinct flavor compared to previous entries. It's a classic trapped in a house with escalating deadite chaos setup, but the family dynamics and the outer window angle give it a different emotional texture than Rise or 2013 remake. Where Evil Dead Burn succeeds is in the sheer commitment to gross out horror. The practical effects and violence are mean, creative, and often inventive. The director isn't shy about pushing the R rating as far as it will go. If you're here for blood, dismemberment, and relentless deadite mayhem, this one delivers in big, messy doses. I also appreciated the attempts to keep the larger Evil Dead world feel connected. There are enough little nods and shared mythology elements that it doesn't feel completely isolated from the rest of the franchise while still telling its own self-contained story. That balance is extremely tricky, and this movie mostly pulls it off. Now let's address the elephant in the room. I do agree with the recent Bloody Disgusting piece that quoted Bruce Campbell. He basically said the modern Evil Dead movies lack the humor of the originals, and he's not wrong. Campbell put it pretty clearly that the last few features have been mostly humorless, and he personally has a problem with that. He even said that there's no point in these getting too grim because you can still be scary without losing fun. And yeah, I think the comedic element is missing from these newer ones for sure. The original Raimi trilogy mixed pure horror with wild slapstick and Bruce Campbell's perfect deadpan energy. That balance is a huge part of what made those movies special. I also think that it made the characters more relatable going through all these possessions and made them stand out of the normal possession movies, right? Because we're used to them being straightforward, gore fest and serious and everything like that. And for the most part, you never know how someone's going to react in a weird situation like that. So having that dark humor and that deadpan comedy kind of made the characters definitely more relatable. I mean, look at all the Evil Dead fans who quote Ash all the time or say how relatable the character was. And I think that's missing a little bit from this new franchise as well. So in Evil Dead Burn, it almost completely drops that approach, the older one, and it's grim, mean-spirited, and focused on making you squirm rather than making you laugh. Some of the darker moments in the grandmother character flirt with dark humor, but overall the movie stays locked in serious, punishing horror movie mode. Whether it's a good or bad thing will depend on what you want from an Evil Dead movie in 2026. For me, Evil Dead Burn works as a solid, ultra-violent entry that keeps the modern franchise moving forward. I liked how it weaves the universe together and still tips its hat to the original film's chaotic spirit. At the same time, I can't ignore the lack of humor that does make it feel a bit more one note compared to the classics. If you're a gorehound and just wants Deadites to go full nightmare mode, you'll probably have a good time. If you're missing the playful and over-the-top energy of Ash and Sam Raimi's style, this one might leave you wanting more of that old-school personality. So that's my take on Evil Dead Burn. Bloody, intense, connected to the bigger universe, and respectful of the original in its own way, but definitely missing that classic Evil Dead sense of humor that Bruce Campbell and a lot of fans clearly want back. What did you think? Did the lack of comedy bother you, or are you fine with the series staying this dark and mean? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay groovy.